Thank you, Uncle Ken. And today was chosen for the National Day of Action because today marks 63 years since the first inland nuclear bomb test that happened at Emu Field. And as Uncle said, people were dislocated, their lives were completely disrupted, their land was poisoned, and people are still suffering intergenerational trauma, intergenerational health impacts from being caught in those nuclear bomb tests. And people are still suffering today, and now the government is coming back and trying to build nuclear waste dumps on their country. We're here to look at two separate proposals that are earmarked for South Australia today. One is for a national dump and one is for an international waste dump. First, we're going to talk about the national dump, and we're very, very fortunate to have Juanella McKenzie, who's an Adnyamathanha woman, a staunch, fantastic, deadly Adnyamathanha woman who's come down to speak with us. And she'll tell you her family's story about how they're fighting the nuclear waste dump proposed for their country.
Hello, my name is Juanella McKenzie. I'm an Adnyamathanha woman from South Australia, Flinders Ranges. Unfortunately, the government has decided that they want to put a nuclear waste dump on Adnyamathanha country, right next to my family's personal property that we actually own. The place that they want to put it, I've got a small picture here of a painting that I've done of a dreaming story of where they want to put it right under that hill. And what it is how the Seven Sisters got into the sky. So a long time ago there was a man called Adnyamathanha, and he is an old Yura, that means an old man. And he was in love with 7 beautiful women, the 7 sisters, and he wanted to marry them and make them his wife. So we chased them all over the country, all over South Australia and that. And along the way they made all the different landscapes. And they came to where they want to put this waste dump now, a place called Sisters, right next to the Ukna Creek. And they ran into a cave, and then they realised they ran into the mouth of a big akuro, that's the big serpent. So they called out to Adnyamathanha, who was the creator, and they said, Adnyamathanha, please help us. So we sent a big owinyalak, and that means a big rain, and it flooded the country. And when it did that, it killed the big akuro, the big serpent, and the serpent passed away, and then it floated to the top of the water, and as it did, its body burst and they came out as stars. The serpent became the Milky Way, the sisters became the Pleiades, and the Alphala was angry. So he was an old Urungi, that means clever man, and he became the Orion, and he went into the sky. And every night you'll see he chases them across the sky, but he can't see them because the big akuro's there. And we actually have a song for that, and a dance, and in the dance the older girls and the older women dance around the children, and they sprinkle the arara, that means the morning dew or the ice, and that's what Adnyamathanha gave them the job to do. So every night when you see that ice coming on the ground, that's them. And the song, I will sing it for you, Mob. It goes, hold on. It goes, Yaka nundu gurdli amangu nyomanali abamba nyorambi 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 arapamarapa arapamarapa Yaka nundu gurdli amangu nyomanali abamba nyorambi 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 arapamarapa. And that's that one. And then, thank you. That's not the only story that's there. It's actually in the middle of many, many stories. There's another story just to where there's another site that they want to put as well. And that's along Ukna Creek, and that's called Bibiawi Yungapurna. That means baby water. So a long time ago, there was an old mother and she had a daughter, and she was very interfering. And the daughter got married, and she ended up knocking her in the head and burying her in the humpy, and she would pretend to be her daughter and call out to the husband, and he'd come and check on her all the time. And eventually, when her body was in the ground, the baby water burst and the springs came out. So that water is very significant to Adnyamathanha women. You can go there if you're pregnant, and it helps you with your leg cramps. The mud in that area's got medicinal purposes. You can rub it on your skin. It helps stop the sting if you've got sunburn or sores. There's also a lot of bush medicine that grows around the area. I have a couple jars here today from my country. You know, there's native lemongrass and everything that grows in there, as well as all the animals. So anyway, with that story, there's the bellbird song. And that bellbird, when that young fella was crying for the woman that died, the bellbird came and sang the song. And as he flew over the top, he fanned the song so that it would float down to the young fella and comfort him. That song goes like this. Back to Itla wanga wanga ma. 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 So in our culture, if someone comes along and does something like this to bury this nuclear waste on our country, when someone passes away, we can't talk about them anymore. They go to Kinjira, which is in English translates roughly to heaven or paradise. So if they bury this poison on Adnyamathanha country, we can't sing these songs anymore that I just sang for you. We can't tell these stories anymore. We can't teach our children, and we obviously won't be able to take them to country and show them on country that, you know, to teach them all these things and show them. And that's our main concern, is yesterday, today, tomorrow and forever. You know, not just for our children but for non-Indigenous people as well. We all share this country, we're all here together, we all need to look after it. And burying nuclear waste in our country is not the right thing to do. They already have a site called Lucas Heights here, not too far away. They can bury it there, they've got enough room. They don't need to come and put this amount of stress on Indigenous people out in the outback. It's not a wasteland, it's an oasis. It's our home. We love it. We've been there for thousands of years. We plan to be there thousands of more. Thank you.